Good Nigerians, we want to welcome you again this morning, another edition of our Odyssey. I'm sure you enjoyed the last one. That was just a brief, like I said, that was just an introduction. Like I said, Odyssey is a long journey that is very eventful. And what it is all this is talking about, it is all about personality, the history behind every person, that you can as well come up with yours tomorrow, because every man has a story to tell. How did you come up? Why? How did you come up to where you are today? Were you born with a silver spoon? Like I mentioned the other day, there are some who are born with silver spoon in their mouth. There are also others who are born with gold, with golden spoons, others bronze spoons. There are others without spoon at all. They manage their fingers. What about those without fingers? How would they have survived? And this is exactly what we are doing today. Today we are talking about the Odyssey of St.Moses, Ogbonna. And you remember last week we stopped, just on Tuesday we stopped at the Biafran war. What happened? At least the last time he almost died. I remember two major things that happened to him. This is a guy that was knocked down by a trailer. And while they were busy, that is a tanker, while they were busy looking for him, searching for his smashed body under the trailer, there was a cry near a nearby bush. Lo and behold, what happened? Who did that? It can only be God. And also the other one, he died, and so on and that. And yet this is the man standing tall here with us. That is where we're going to continue from today. That's where we're going to continue from. Thank you for being part of this program. So Moses Ogbonna, you're welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are continuing with the journey so far. Most of all, just like you started last week, a lot of people don't know the moment you are seen with a car or looking a little pleasurable, looking a little big and so on, they think that is how you started, especially considering certain backgrounds and so on, especially now that your even immediate your twin brother is a professor of a repute. And so every other person will think it was just a rosy journey. So let us start from where we stopped last time. After you survived the death, after a prayer, whichever way it happens. Let's start from there, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the import of this program is not to show up. It's purely to encourage those who may have lost hope, who believe that it is not possible for them to survive. You will survive. On every person, there are small rivers where they fish. Small boys, you see them swimming. So on this blessed day, one of our friends told us that we should go and fish. We joined them. We got there. I saw small boys standing on top of
The water.
I thought the water wasn't deep. And by then I never knew I am somebody who never liked water. So they beckoned on me. I dived in. And lo and behold, the sea swept me. I was being thrown up and down by the river. Everybody there ran away, thinking I was drowned, and I was drowning. When I was almost gone, from nowhere, somebody appeared. When I turned and saw him, I dived to get him. He just poured water on my face and dived behind me. The next thing I saw myself was on his shoulder. He brought me out. That was another incident that happened in my life, where God came to manifest himself and say, my boy, it is not.
I say one of the persons that were swimming with you was not the person that came for your rescue.
No, they all ran away. Very, very small boys. They all ran away because probably they have not seen where a drowning person before, so they became afraid and ran away. But because my God was with me from my cradle. I knew where I was going to, know what he wanted me to become. He came once again and saved me. So everybody has to have hope. If you don't look behind to see the encounters you have had with your God, any little thing that happens now, you lose hope. You begin to cry unto people, run from pillar to post, seeking help. When he says, call upon me in your time of trouble, I will answer you.
All right, talking about that your infancy age, at that very little age, you know, that three major things has happened like you narrated to us here. And then after that was still within the war, immediately after the war.
No, that was still even before the war.
Okay, before
this one was before the war.
Okay.
Now, during the war, our parents died. We didn't come back immediately. In fact, the mother we had was our elder sister. That was the mother we had. She took care of all of us. She was doing PT.2, buying some fruits and giving to us. We go to the market and start selling banana, orange. We will hawk it. When we hawk, we come back. That is where she will get money to feed all of us. Then I remember another incident that happened. We were good at singing. We were in the church choir. Our sisters have grown now. Even not, they were some 17, 18, but they have at a ripe age, some young boys too will see them and like them. So we went to choir this day. Because of our performance in the choir, we never knew that the choir master was envying me. I was good at singing, me and my twin. We were singing very well. In fact, the whole family were song makers. So on this blessed day, I didn't know what I did to the choir master. You know, somebody who has no father, no mother, nobody to take care, to defend us when there is. This guy beat me. Kai, he beat me. Everybody in the choir was begging him. I was begging him. He was an elderly person. You know, somebody who is a choir master, who was married then. He beat hell into my head. Inside the church, not outside. Then I ran to the pulpit. When it appeared to me that he was unstoppable, I ran to the pulpit, held the table at the pulpit. I said, God, I have come to back for you to rescue me. The man came there, dragged me at that pulpit, and beat hell into my head. All of a sudden, look at this army man. Just walked into the church. There was no noise. Nobody called him. He walked into the church, grabbed this man. Oh my God. Beat him. He beat him so that he dragged him from the church to the army barrack. And they locked him up. Hey, everybody said that I went to call my sister's boyfriend to kill a son of the soil. Church was organized. There was church board to try me.
At that little age then?
At that little age. It's not strangers now coming to kill son of the soil. The presentation was, nobody even said what happened. Only that the guy cautioned me. I brought my sister's boyfriend to kill him. So when the church we gathered, church board, they asked him, he gave his own flimsy. I started telling the story and I was crying. When I got to the point, I told him that I had to run to the pulpit and held the pulpit and ask God to come and protect me. Then this soldier man walked. Hey, church is hey now. God don't come now. So you didn't fear. Let me tell you, in every church you attend, there is when a new church is built, they consecrate the church.
The altar, yes.
At the day of the consecration, there is always one chapter in the Bible they used to recite or read. Like when Jerusalem, that was what David wrote in the day Jerusalem was consecrated. He says, God, whenever we call you and look on this altar and call you, please come.
Answer us.
If we have problem and we come to this altar and call you, come and answer us. So that day I ran to the altar. I called the Most High God, my Father who art in heaven, and He came and rescued me. I never forget that day, because the way the army man walked into the church, it's an army man I do not know. I have not seen him in my life. I did not see him again after that day. He just came.
All right, that is confirming the word of God, that God is the defender of the defenseless. He defends those. He's a ram. He is the cow, the tail cow that flies away for the tailless cow. And that's exactly what happened that day. All right, we are going to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with this. How does it? Remember, as he's putting these things together, you also have the right. Think about your life. How did you get started? Even if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, what of those things happened? How did you become a man? That's exactly what we're doing here. We'll be back. When we come back, Odyssey of St.Moses Ogbonna continues. Wonderful viewers, I'm glad you're still there listening to your favorite station 90.9 Living Radio FM, and then also a very interesting and thrilling story, the Odyssey of St.Moses Ogbonna. It is always important to know. One of the books we read in those days, Teach Yourself Good English, it says we learn to speak by speaking. And I'm sure this message is going to send a signal to too many persons, even those who want to commit suicide because they think they are orphans. Those who are thinking, also believing that they have no parents, or their parents are very poor. You are deposited in that family to make a difference. And that is, I think, that is one of the reasons why St. Moses has come up with this Odyssey. So let us continue from there. After that, the church board summoned you. And remember, you were in a strange land. And how possible were you going to sing our Lord's song in that strange land?
You see, when you are in a church that is a living church, the elders of the church who were before were biased. They were biased. They thought we were coming to intimidate. But because it is Church of God, where they also had the Word of God in them, they also know that the justice, even if you impay it, God will not. Mm-hmm. Most of the elders of the church say that it is not me that invited the soldier, that it is God whom I ran to. That even if there is any problem and you run to a senior person, and you hold him and say, please, 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 I have come to you for shelter.
Or have you caused it doing bush?
Yes. That a respectful person ought to withdraw at that point. They even told him that he does not know God. That he does not know that God, this God we serve, is one God that says, when you see children,
allow them to come closer here.
Yes.
For the kingdom of God is theirs.
It's theirs. Not for the adults.
Not for the adults.
It's for the children. He says, suffer the children to come unto me. Teach them to know his ways. And I want to tell you one thing. If you are a child of God or son of God, the way I am, from the cradle, God will, he says, trust in the Lord with all your might, with all your heart. Lean not upon your own understanding. With his own understanding, he thought he can deal with me anyhow.
As an orphan.
As an orphan. No senior brother, no Dimba who can challenge him. And as a choir master, every other person in the choir respects him.
Coupled with the fact that he's also an indigent.
An indigent. And on that day, none of my sisters and my brothers were in the choir. They did not come, only me. Then God says, I am here. He is my child.
So that day you become an home man, after.
I wasn't. At that point,
but the choir master didn't understand it.
He didn't. Because since my father was buried there, he ought to have known that the gods of Ohafia will protect me. The God in heaven, in Ohafia, will also protect me, that I have become an indigent. So that is why wherever you are, if you are not home man in Ngwaland, see yourself as an indigent of Ngwaland. Whatever you know that will benefit an Ngwa person, do it to him. The gods of this land will protect you, will defend you. Don't say, Onyangwa, when you are in the land, you are farming on the land, you are benefiting on the land. Even an Ngwa man who is in Ohafia, who is in Ebonyi, who is anywhere, are you an Igbo man in Kano? See Kano people as your people. Do what you think they should do to you, to them. The gods of their land will protect you. No discrimination.
All right, this is like the biblical saying in Jeremiah 29 verse 7. He said, pray for the peace and prosperity of the land in which you are in exile. For when that land prospers, you shall prosper. From what St.Moses Ogbonna just said, it is often here. It happens on a daily basis. You see people criticizing the land they are dwelling in. Most of them don't know anything. It is their forefathers, their fathers that brought them here. And from here, they made all the money they're enjoying. And yet, the people, the indigents, means nothing to them. Wherever you go, that is the advice he gave now. Wherever you go, remember to respect that land. Honor that land. Honor the people in the land. The Bible said that the Lord shall prosper you. For when that land prospers, you shall equally prosper. Or else, whatever happens to you, that's your business. All right, before we cap it up for today on this Odyssey, St. Moses, we've heard about that, how even when you were afraid that the church board were going to go against you because you are not an indigent, just a child of God. But there was something that made you an indigent in Ohafia land, and you had faith in that. Then as the matter was going on, what were you thinking about? Were you missing your parents then?
Certainly I was seeing myself. My cry was that because I was an orphan, that what was happening to me. By then I never knew trusting God absolutely. I ran to God as a last resort. Even though I had known from what my parents were telling us very early in the morning, that in everything we face, there is God. We should always rely on God. But the reflection started when I now grew and began to reflect on the little things that happened to me in the past, and not say, surely, that God my father was talking about is not very far from me. That's why before I do anything to anybody now, I consider, one, if that thing I want to do to you is done to me, how will I
feel about it? Okay, going about, what brought about your running to the altar at such a tender age, what brought about that? As the last result, going to the altar, believing that God was there, even at that age.
You see, even now, God talks to all of us. Our problem is whether we will be able to understand what He is saying. You see, some people say, I hear what God says. Yes, sometimes He talks, you hear. But in most cases, it works as an intuition. Something happens immediately. So the intuition came. On that impulse, I ran to the pulpit. I know very well that it was something that happened when my father was alive too, in that church. You know, Seventh-day Adventist people, there are a lot of things they don't take. They don't smoke. They don't drink. Alcoholic. It's in their doctrine. Forget about whether now that we have grown, we begin to drink some beer. Our doctrine says we don't drink. We don't smoke.
You don't eat snail too.
We don't eat snail, crayfish and things like that. There are a lot of things our doctrine forbids us to do. So there was this man in Siajadu.
The son is in Abaya.
The son is in Abaya. This man was a solid member of the church. Sana Asagama was an elder of the church, one who believed solidly in the church. You know, a new church, those who join newly you will have some fanatics.
Exactly.
In fact, I will call him a fanatic of the church. So believer in it. So all the traditions of Ohafia, ime uke, ime okuko, madonwasi weta nama, kenye eliya second burial. He told his people he won't. He abstained himself from all those things he felt were fetish. So they say, okay, you know, they believe in uke thing.
Yes.
Age grade. So his age grade people say we will deal with him. And that time Indian hemp was a very serious crime.
Offense.
If an Indian hemp is found on you or gotten from you, hey, my brother, you are in soup. So on this blessed day, policemen from Abreba, because the police headquarters was in Abreba, came to his house, searched, and got Indian hemp. They arrested him. We were there. When they drove him, he told them that before he can leave Ebem, before he can live
Asaga.
with them, Asaga, that they should drive him to the house of his pastor to tell him that he's going to heaven. So they drove him to our house. Unfortunately, my father was not around. He told us, tell your father when he comes back that I am going to heaven. He told us what happened briefly. They drove him to Abreba. When my father came back, he went to Abreba and saw him. They told him he has been charged to court. On Monday, we should come to court. My brother, on Saturday, my father declared that all the churches
Around Ohafia
in Ohafia should have a combined service. He said, if you are coming, don't eat. That was the first day I know what fasting
is all about.
is all about. He said, don't eat. If you know you have arthritis on your leg, come with a pillow. And that day, everybody converged. Immediately after the Sabbath school, the street choir started singing. Songs, prayers, calling God. My brother, while the prayer was going on, at one occasion, a woman stood up and said that while the prayer was going on, that he saw a very tall man on a white garment that walked from the outside, the way that soldier man walked into the church, and moved straight to where Insia Jadu was kneeling down, shook his hand, tapped his back, and disappeared. You know, Seventh-day Adventist Church does not believe in testimonies.
And prophecy too.
Prophecy too. The only prophecy they believe in is that of Ellen G. White. There is prophecy now. There are testimonies now. It is testimonies like the one I'm doing that makes people, those who don't believe in God, when they hear certain things that happen to somebody, they will say, sure, is it true that this thing can happen? You come closer to God. Do you know, on Monday, all of us went to court with district choir. The whole church members went to the court. Instead, Jadu was brought to court. Being a very popular church then, because my pastor Nanenyesebu, evangelism in a debate. He will invite a particular church, say, bring your doctrine, we bring our doctrine, they will debate. Whoever wins, the whole members will join the church. The whole congregation converted. Many of the churches. So the church was very popular. T.B. Joshua, my father in the Lord, he says, it is the good in you that is the cause of envy. Because of that, every person who is a Seventh-day Adventist man then was envied, including Insia Jadu. They wanted to imprison him so that the church will be dented.
And others who may want to follow footsteps will
we ran away. We got to the church. Miracle happened.
To the court.
To the court. Once the matter was mentioned, he said that he was brought on chains. I said, yes, read the charge. They read the charge. They said, are you guilty or not guilty? He didn't say guilty. He didn't say not guilty. Do you know what he said? I'm a member of Seventh-day Adventist. And everybody knows we don't smoke. We don't sell. He asked the magistrate, look around this court. You have never seen a crowd like this. They have come to bear me witness. There are also hosts of heaven that are here. They have also come to bear me witness. That was the end of that matter.
Wow.
No hearing was taken. The man was discharged then and acquitted. It is now that I'm a lawyer that I now begin to know the miracle that happened. There was no bail, there was no adjournment, there was nothing else that was done. The man was discharged. That was the power of God.
All right, wonderful listeners. I'm sure you've digested that very well. That's the much we are going to take today. Remember, you have a date with us on Wednesday. It's going to be coming twice every week, like we told you. We've not talked about his primary, secondary, university. How did he become a lawyer? This man who became an orphan at a very tender age of less than 4 years. How did he become a lawyer? How did he become whatever thing he is today? How did he own a television and a radio station? There are too many more things for you to know about him. How did he come up with this? I'm telling you, you are going to learn a lot from this. Having said this, this is where we're going to draw the curtain for today until we come your way again next week. It's still the Odyssey of St.Moses, Ogbonna. St.Moses, Ogbonna, we are glad again to have you here today again.
Thank you very much.
And next week is a date. Keep a date with us. Don't go away. I remain your anchor man, Chinedum Cotton Adiele. Until we meet again on next week. Bye for now.